It's time for Turkey of the Week, a chance to get to know and possibly even to dislike a really rotten kid. And now the presentation of the most unwanted award on television, the Golden Gobbler, to this week's Turkey of the Week, a turkey named Frances X. Aggeration. Here's a girl with a vivid imagination. Meet Frances Xavier Aggeration, or Frances X. Aggeration for short, since blowing things up was her favorite sport. You couldn't call Frances a liar exactly, and yet she would tell you, quite matter-of-factly, that her uncle the Duke was fantastically rich, and his wife, Frances' aunt, was a practicing witch. Because a broom was their method of transportation when she stayed with him during summer vacation. And when people stopped listening, because nobody knew if any or all of her stories were true, she'd go further than simple exaggeration to a fantasy world of her own creation. When she went to the circus, the lions broke out and ate all the clowns. That was open to doubt. She had 600 cats and a pet kangaroo in her room back at home. That was simply not true. Behind the wheel of every car, Frances saw a movie star. To Frances, a weed was a begonia. If she had a cold, it was double pneumonia. Her homework caught fire. There were Martians in school. Yesterday at the Y, there were sharks in the pool. She lived in a castle. She lived in a tent until no one believed her wherever she went. They didn't dislike her, just left her alone to live where she liked in a world of her own. But in her own world, things went the same way. For instance, outside in the schoolyard one day, someone threw her a softball. "Hey, Frances, here, catch." Then Frances imagined a fabulous snatch, the most marvelous catch made by anyone ever. Artistic, athletic, courageous, and clever. Greatest catch of the year, all the newspapers said. The softball, meanwhile, hit her right in the head. "Sorry, Frances," they said, and went on with their game. But Frances imagined a lifetime of shame. "Miss Aggeration, I'm afraid it's a rule. Softball missers can't get into medical school." Now the headline screamed, "Dropper of softball is chased out of town. Butterfingered girl athlete disgraced." She was sad in her make-believe world, and the chances are nobody knew it, except maybe Frances, and she didn't know how to make the thing stop. And then Frances got lucky. One day she met Pop.
Hey, that's me!
Right, Pop. Now you can guess who Frances really is.
Pop made up outrageous stories with features like talking rocks and purple creatures. But Pop and the people who watched him knew what parts were for fun and which were true. He said, "Frances Xavier Aggeration, the overactive imagination which got you into this situation could be very useful in moderation. Would you like a career in animation? Because making up stories is all very well if you really do have some truth to tell. Well, some things are better said simple and true, like, I like you for being you." Then he gave her a job in his funny old shop where she still makes up stories and draws them for Pop. And they call them cartoons, and they're shown on TV. And Frances is happy.
Because Frances is me!
Frances is you! Carrie, you're no Turkey of the Week anymore! You certainly are! We're happy to have you with us. Frances X. Aggeration?